Hey, what's up? This is Scott with Level Up Tutorials, and today we're going to show you how to use material design using the paper elements in Polymer. In this first video, we're just going to drop some basic paper elements in there, like a paper button and a paper checkbox, just to see how easy it is to throw these material design elements into our page. So let's get going on that right now. So to implement material design within your Polymer project, it's really quite simple. All you have to do is include these Polymer Paper Elements. So you can get to them by going to Elements and then Paper Elements here, and you can see all of what they have to offer. However, if you wanted to learn a little bit more, you can come to /docs/elements/paper-elements.html here, and that'll take you to the Polymer Paper Elements page, where there's this big Get Paper Elements button. But like we've seen with every other Polymer component, all you have to do is click this. It's going to give you the Bower command to run to make sure that you have these paper elements installed. Since we've been installing everything with Bower so far, we're going to continue to do that and just use this Bower install Polymer /paper-elements. So I'm just going to paste it in to my project, hit enter, and it's going to go ahead and download everything. Okay, so now that everything has been downloaded, what we can do is simply just add with the same link scheme that we've been using before and just copy and paste this link import into our HTML document. So at the top where we have all of these other ones, we can just throw in one more, and keep in mind that this says components, paper elements. Well, our Bower components are actually living in this Bower components folder, so we're going to go out to make sure that this path is absolutely correct, and I'm going to open up this Bower components folder just to make sure that a folder named paper elements is in here. We do in fact have a folder, paper elements. Cool. Okay, so now that our paper elements have been imported, we can go ahead and see what they have to offer. Now, what kind of things can you use with these paper elements? Well, let's check it out. If you click on this paper element sampler link, it'll take you to this page where you can check out all of the different paper elements that exist. So as you can see, we have things like checkboxes, where when you check them, they have this nice animation, and you can see that they have several examples. And these are in different colors. So they're more than just giving you one or two examples. They're just showing you sort of what you can do with them. So we have these radio buttons. They're in two different colors. We have something like this toggle button. You can see when you click it, it toggles on and off. And they're just showing you them in a couple of different colors. You can also drag this to turn it on. Okay. Now we have things like inputs, which when you select, they do things like this. If you have it with a floating label, the label is going to come up top here. Things like core input plus floating label, auto growing text area plus floating label. So it's definitely worth your time to come in here and see all of these different paper elements. Let's go ahead and start throwing some of these into our page. The first thing we want to do is just quick throw in something like a checkbox. This is probably going to be one of the easiest ones because you simply can just drop it into your project. So let's come back to elements and let's click on paper elements down here and let's find checkbox. So it's under paper-checkbox. Okay, so now we have this paper checkbox. We can actually just drop it in here with this paper checkbox element. So just like we have been, I'm just going to paste this into our project and it's just paper-checkbox. Now, when we come to our page and refresh, you'll notice that we have just a pretty standard checkbox with nothing else. When you check it, you do get that nice animation and it goes green. Now, what else can we do with this? If we come back to this paper checkbox page, you'll notice that you can pass in a default attribute of checked. You can change the checked state with this bit of CSS here. Okay, so that was nice and easy. We have this working checkbox here. Now another nice little element you can use are these buttons, and these paper element buttons can sort of be dropped in there and they can give you this really nice touch ripple effect like a lot of things using the material design spec. So let's actually throw one of these paper buttons in here really quick and just show you exactly how easy that is. So I'm just going to copy this paper checkbox and change this to paper button like that. And once more. So we can have this just be button 1, and let's save and see what that gives us just out of the box. Okay, so nothing really crazy, we have just this text. However, when you click on it, it does give you that nice ripple effect. But how do we get the buttons looking like how they have them here? Well, you'll notice that we can pass them some attributes, things like raised or no ink removes the ripple effect. So if we just pass in this raised attribute here, simply like that, what it does is it gives us the whole shadow, and it gives us a certain level of shadow here. And when you click, we still get this ripple effect. Now, in terms of styling this button, you'd want to style this like any other element using CSS. And in fact, they even have some examples here. They can show you that you can just simply style it like any other DOM element, simply with a class or perhaps just by defining it. And you'll notice here it says by default, the ripple is the same color as the foreground, 25% opacity. You may customize this color using this selector. So it's really cool that we can modify the ripple itself. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and copy this, and in our CSS, let's make this a little bit different. So I'm just going to call out our paper button itself, and we're gonna say paper button. And the paper button is going to have a background of blue, color of white. We'll stick with FFF, okay? And let's go ahead and define the ripple color. So we can say paper button, and then paste this in. So we have our : shadow, ripple, and we can define a color here. You'll notice that it's using this color blue. So let's go ahead and make this something way different, and let's just say it's going to be red. So this is going to be super ugly. And I just noticed I had a 2 P's in here, paper, so paper button, okay, fix that. Okay, so we now have this blue button. When we click it, the ripple actually looks purple because it's a 25% opacity of the red color. And you'll notice if you click and hold, you get to keep that ripple there. So as you can see, you can really modify these buttons with CSS as you see fit, but it's nice that it really comes with those touch effects that make material design such like a nice feeling interface. So what other kind of cool things can we do? Well, there's a lot of elements here, and we're not going to go over all of these elements, but I think some of the cooler ones are things like these paper tabs. We can go ahead and do so using paper tabs and paper tab. Now, if we simply want to add the paper tabs themselves, all we have to do is let's actually just copy and paste this example that has paper tabs as an element with selected equal to 0, and then 3 paper tab elements inside of here. So I'm going to paste this into our page, just anywhere here pretty much, because we just want to see it in action. And let's tab this over. Okay, great. Now let's check this out in our pages, see what this paper tabs gives you. You notice that we have 3 tabs here, and since by default they don't have any color other than this yellow, you'll do notice that we do get this yellow ripple effect, and we do have a slight yellow underline. Let's go ahead and actually make this look a little bit nicer. I'm gonna head over to materialcolors.com and grab some of these material UI colors. On this site, the large colors are for the main colors and the smaller ones are for accents. So if we pick 2, let's just say we pick this blue color. When we click it as copied to the clipboard, I'm actually going to replace our pager button with this color as well, because I can't really stand looking at that blue. But now what we want to do is we want to define our tabs. So we can say paper-tabs, background with that blue color. Now if we come and refresh, you notice this is looking a little bit better. We click it, and we get this nice ripple. Now let's actually want to change this yellow color. How do we do that? So if you come back to the paper tabs and we scroll down here, the best part about the Polymer documentation is when you want to find something, it's here. The CSS is at the bottom, the attributes are just below that. So if you need to be able to modify any given part of an element, you can do that really easily. So as you can see, we have the paper tab shadow, we have the paper tab ink, or we have the paper tabs selection bar. Okay, so now the paper tabs selection bar is going to be the sliding bar that we have here. So let's go ahead and I'm going to actually grab this whole bit from the semicolons after that. And once more, we can type paper hyphen tabs. I'm going to paste this in here. Okay, and now we can modify this color. Let's actually go ahead back to material colors and grab something that is going to be obvious here. Let's do one of these, this light purple here, and let's paste this in here. Okay, now when we come back to our page, refresh, you'll see that we have this purple underline, and when we click, the ripple is still yellow. However, on the paper tabs, you'll notice that this ink ripple color is the exact next thing. So if we wanted to modify that, we could. But as you can see here, these paper and material elements, right? The paper elements, they're not giving you things like your font. They're not interrupting there, but they are giving you this base tab system that has a nice interaction. It has a nice animation and it feels really good without sort of getting in the way. And I think that's really important because you want a tool that helps you, but you don't want a tool that you're constantly having to override. So I highly recommend coming to the Polymer documentation and just going through these paper elements and just start throwing them on your page and modifying them. The documentation is all here, and it makes it really nice and easy to get a good handle on what's going on here. In addition to the paper elements that we've seen and that you've seen on the paper elements sampler page, there's also what you can use at the actual material effects. So there are material design effects like the click to ripple that you can use in your own elements. So in the next video, we're going to show you how you can drop these effects into your own elements and get them working on your custom stuff without having to use the paper elements themselves. So as always, this is Scott with Level Up Tutorials. If you have any questions or comments, leave a comment in the video or hit us up at Twitter or Facebook at Level Up Tutorials. We love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.